Hello, artist. It's Kelly Folsom here. Welcome back to another Art Life Conversations podcast. We're in, can you believe it, episode 25. I really can't believe I've done 25 episodes, and I'm so appreciative of all of you for being here, for listening, for chiming in on these conversations through your comments on social media, through emailing in at info@artlifewithkelly.com, Kelli, by the way. And so I'm just really excited to see where this podcast continues to go and how we all continue to grow together in this art life journey. So today, hello, women, badass Wonder Women artists. This episode is for you. And I'm specifically calling on all women artists. This is a call for women artists to come together, to take action, and to support each other. So before I get into this, as always, I never like to come at anything out of defense because I don't feel like there is anything to defend. But I will say, before I get into this, that I am not anti-man. However, I am pro-woman artist. I am pro-woman artist. I am a woman, obviously, and I have my own experience in this art world as a woman in this art world. So that is what I'm here today to share, is my own experience as a woman in this industry. And this industry is still very much male dominated. Okay. So that's what I'm here to talk about today, is to really just to raise awareness about the fact that it's still very much a male-dominated industry, and also to issue a call to all women artists to help each other, to come together and support one another and help one another be more successful, okay? So obviously, again, I am not anti-man. I have a very wonderful partner in my life who is a man and who is, I would say, one of the biggest feminists I've ever met in my life as well, and supports me and believes in me 100%. Okay. All right. So if you find yourself getting offended, I'm sorry. That is for you to deal with. Right? Okay, so let's get into this. I want to issue a call for all women artists to, number one, to follow each other's work on social media. I have started an initiative myself on my social media platform. I have been sharing women artist work that I'm following on Instagram every single day with my Share Her Work, Check Out Her Work initiative. Is what I have been calling it. And so I want to call all of you women artists to do this as well, to begin to make sure that you are supporting each other's social media channels, that you're commenting, that you're sharing each other's work, and that way we all help each other get out there more prominently, right? So that's the first thing. Number two, of course, supporting each other. And this also means supporting each other financially. All right. So whether that is signing up for a class, buying a book, a DVD, something like that. Supporting American Women Artist Organization, just women arts organizations in general. The ones that I support are American Women Artists and also Women Artists of the West. So I donate, not only am I a member of those organizations, but I also donate to those organizations. And with Women Artists of the West, I am very grateful to be able to sponsor an award for their show. It's $500 a year. It's called the Pursuit of Beauty Award. And that specifically goes to a female artist, once a year. So I'm honored to be able to have been doing that for a couple of years and to continue to do that, right? So these are my ways that I've done to support other women. Not only that, I'm constantly trying to help women artists in my classes to be more financially successful, because women still are way under earning more than the male artists, according to the statistics. artists in general are not earning enough money. Hence my prior podcast episode where I'm talking about how to start selling your paintings online, because we all artists, male and female, need to stop being broke. All right. And we need to get more art out into the world, get it into people's homes. Okay. This is important. It's an important mission, and we all have to do it together. But specifically here for women artists, because they do still under earn in comparison to the men. Okay, and then also thank your women publicly. Okay, so if you have had a female art instructor, something like that, a female art mentor that has helped you along the way, please thank them publicly. Acknowledge their work, acknowledge their efforts publicly. It's something that I have seen since I entered art school. Back in 2007, whenever I entered art school, I noticed right away, like there was a different kind of perspective on the male art professors versus the female art professors. Okay. And so it's just a different, and even among the female students as well. And even between the female teachers and the female students. So I know myself, I experienced a lot of, I don't know what the right word is, but a lot of, kind of stereotyping, a lot of treatment like I must not be as talented as one of the male artists in the class. I must not be as smart as one of the male artists in the class. And so, and also I got a lot of kind of stereotypical stuff like, you can't really be a great artist because you're too pretty or you dress too nice. One of my female art instructors used to call me Kelly Jean Beauty Queen. One of the female art history teachers there was always like really mean to me. Okay. So these are just things that I experience woman to woman, and we have to stop this, woman to woman. We have to stop doing these things to each other. Right? We have to stop, belittling each other, competing with each other, right? Trying to, keep somebody else down because they're a woman and you're afraid that they're going to get more attention than you or something. So there's a lot of that I experienced starting out from day one in art school. And of course, that's been like 14 years ago now. So just a different kind of treatment as a female artist from both my male instructors and my female instructors. Okay. Of course, not to mention the male instructors flirting or treating you like, oh, you're such a sweet little girl, type of thing. So we need to all take each other more seriously and treat each other, more seriously as women. And then of course, if you look at, my experience in the gallery system and in shows is like primarily the men are the ones who are getting the dominant placement, getting the dominant awards, all these kinds of things. That's why I'm so pro-woman and supporting those women artist organizations, because they are specifically giving more opportunities, more showing opportunities to women, more opportunities to sell just to women. So it's really important for us as women to not work against one another, but to work with each other. And so, for example, in my experience of being a female art instructor, one thing I've noticed, even from the female students that I've had, is like they will thank me privately. They'll send me emails. They'll even send me just like the sweetest cards and things like that. They'll thank me privately, but then they won't thank me publicly. Like they won't acknowledge my role in their development publicly. And it's really interesting to me that that happens, yet they will acknowledge a male instructor, or the next thing you know, they just sent you an email privately saying how much you've changed their life, how much you've helped them. But then the next thing you know, you see a post on social media and they're like, oh, I've taken this workshop with this big name male art instructor. So they're thanking the male art instructor publicly, So I just find all of this to be, and honestly, I don't care for myself, but it is an underlying issue. It's still a huge underlying issue that the system is male dominated, and even female artists are contributing to that. So that's mostly what I'm trying to raise awareness about here, and trying to get us as women artists to support each other and to help each other in our art life and our art careers. And it makes sense that it's still male dominated because, of course, gosh, if you look at 100 years ago, 150 years ago, women weren't even allowed to be artists, right? Who wasn't allowing them to be artists, in the art system? It was all men in the art system, right? So women weren't even allowed a century ago, or a century or more ago, to be artists. You only had a couple of female artists. There's only a couple of female artists that everybody knows about throughout art history prior to, say, the 1900s. You're looking at Artemisia Gentileschi, and then the French artist Elizabeth Lebrun. There's only a couple of well-known women artists throughout all those centuries of art history. And then, of course, in the 1900s, we start getting artists like Cecilia Beau and other female artists who start coming a little bit more to the forefront, right? And then, of course, we get artists like Frida Kahlo and others as well from that point on. And unfortunately, still a lot of women artists were really kind of put more on a platform because their male partner, either their male husband or their male partner, was really, well known and really, high up on the ladder, so to speak, and kind of help them in that way. So I'm really looking forward to a day when women artists, and I know it will come if we continue to, as women, support each other. And there's a lot of really wonderful men out there who are helping, women artists get more in the forefront. And so to those men, I say thank you, for doing that. But I specifically want women to really just be aware, like, are you really supporting your fellow women artists enough? Could you be doing something more? And it starts with very simple steps, very simple actions in order to help us as a sex, to, come forward more to the forefront of the art industry. And not even ahead of the men, but just in equal, the equality with the men. So we are still in a male-dominated system. We just are, okay? And there's the thing that we have to do is, like, we just have to take action together. We have to do what we can do, right, in order to affect change. And again, this can start with something as simple as leaving a positive comment on a fellow woman artist's work, thanking a woman artist who has helped you tremendously publicly, acknowledging them, sharing them, spreading their teaching to other possible students, let's say, for example, or if you're a woman collector, sharing that young woman's work that you're collecting, or older woman's work that you're collecting, sharing their work, sharing about them publicly so that other people will be aware of their work. So this week, I'm going to challenge all of you women artists to seek out other women artists, to uplift them, to promote them, to promote each other, right? And if you want to kind of follow my lead and start sharing their work on your Instagram stories. I've been using the tagline, check out her all in caps, check out her work, so that we can kind of help spread each other's work and share each other's followings on social media. So that's a really simple, actionable place to start and to begin. And obviously, we've made a lot of strides as women in the art industry, and we will continue to do so. But it takes really each of us doing our own part in that, right? Doing what we can. Maybe you can't start a women's artist organization, but you can donate to them, or you can submit your work to their shows, right? So instead of thinking like, oh, this is just too big of an issue, and I feel like if you're a woman, it should concern you. Like if you're a woman, this issue should concern you, and you should participate in, in advancing progress in it, right? And then just watching out too, ladies, like how you're treating each other. How are you treating one another, right? Is it with love? Is it with kindness? Is it with supporting your fellow woman? I know I have experienced so much just nonsense from other women artists since I've been in art school, competing with one another, trashing one another, talking bad about one another, I've experienced that a lot. So, that's something else that we need to look at as women, is like how we're treating one another. Are we really loving each other and supporting each other? And then hopefully then next, being able to be abundant minded enough to promote each other, to support each other financially, and to promote each other publicly. All right. So there's a phrase about abundance, that abundance is a we mindset. It's not a me mindset. So I think for women artists as a whole to be abundant as a whole, we really have to come together as a we and have a we mindset, and not just be in it for ourselves. Oh, how can I get mine? Everybody's like, oh, how can I get mine all the time? So how can we have a we mindset and start to help each other as women? And I'm just going to leave everybody with those thoughts, and with that call to action to all of you women artists to begin to do something regularly, not just once. Do it consistently. And I know that that's a challenge, but it could be, once a week, right? Or even once a month, my goodness. But really make an effort on a consistent basis to support and promote your fellow women artists. Okay, Wonder Women artists, I will see you next time on the podcast. See all the artists next time on the podcast. And until then, I'm wishing you happy painting, and I'll see you next week. Bye.